Thank you very much for joining on time. Good morning. And I hope you have been doing some homework. Please do homework, guys. Otherwise, please do the homework. Mm, Homework is very important. So, today's topic, I think both of you already know about this because you have attended the previous sessions, but we'll still go through it because it's part of our agenda. So, we'll talk about how to identify nominative, accusative, and dative cases. There is one more case called as genitive case, which is not important for A1, but we'll talk about it anyway. Let's see. Then we'll talk about how to like using the correct articles. So of course, if you know which case is it, then you have to use the correct article for that case. So then we'll look at some dative verbs because I'll give you a trick. So if you don't have to remember the rules how to identify accusative and dative case, then I'll give you one simple trick or tactic that I use. And based on that, one requirement to use that tactic is that you should know around 50 to 100 dative verbs so that it makes your life easier. That's why some dative verbs will test your progress. I think you have already seen it, but I mean, it's just a. I mean, this section 4 is supposed to make you feel bad because when I ask you questions, you will not be able to answer some of the questions, and it's supposed to demotivate you, which is supposed to in turn motivate you to learn German and to do homework. Then we'll talk about these two words, zu and sehr, and what they mean. Then let's see if we have enough time. We'll talk about Wechselpräpositionen. So they are prepositions, but uh, so normally when you have a preposition, uh, what comes after preposition is normally fixed. Like it will either be accusative or dative, or sometimes dative, or genitive as well, maybe. Yeah, but then there are prepositions. These are called as Wechselpräpositionen. They I mean, so what comes after them may be dative, may be accusative. So that's why Wechselpräpositionen. Let us continue. Disclaimer: you already know. Let's talk about this. Trying to understand like how to identify nominative, accusative, or dative cases. Okay, so here are a few things. This slide I need to update, but okay. So here I have written 5 sentences. So I am Rohit. I am reading the book Atomic Habits. I am teaching German. I am teaching you German. I am helping you. With the help of these 5 sentences, we will try to understand some theory that you can use to identify nominative, accusative, and dative cases. Again, this concept of identifying accusative, dative, nominative cases, it's, I mean, at least to me, maybe some teacher who is trained in teaching German, he will be able to explain it to you very easily. But if you ask me, I think it's not easy to explain, but it's very easy to understand. What do I mean by, imagine, I think you have been through, you are attending a session and the teacher is trying to explain you something, 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 right? He's wasting hours and hours on it. You don't get it, but then there is a point, you're thinking about it, and it just clicks, and you know what he was trying to say, you know and then you are not able to explain it to someone else, but you know what it means. It can be some mathematical equation or something like that. So you know what it means, but you don't know how to explain to someone. So it is something like that. So I don't expect you to follow everything that I say, but see how much you can follow. So let's talk about this. So these 5 sentences, right? Now the first sentence, I am Rohit. Okay, it can be someone, for example, you are Rishabh, or you are Manjusha. Okay, or now what I wanted to say is that this sentence has 3 parts, right? So you have the subject, that is uh, so you have the subject. One second, let me see if I can uh, get some kind of marker over here. Okay. Oh, I'll have to share my screen again. I apologize. Okay, perfect. Let me go full screen, and now I have the marker. So this sentence has 3 parts, right? It has this I am and Rohit. So I is a pronoun, Rohit is a subject, is a noun, am is a verb, right? Now let's say if I say I am blah blah, right? If I'm let's say if I'm talking to you on a phone and I'm saying, hey, I am, and when I was about to say Rohit, there was some noise in the connection, right? So you did not hear exactly who am I, right? So if I say I am blah blah, you will say, okay, who is blah blah? right? So to find the missing information, that is Rohit, or that is Manjusha or Rishabh, you will say who. You will use the question who, not just you who. You will use the verb is along with it, right? Who is, okay? If I say blah blah is Rohit, okay, then to find that blah blah, you also say who is Rohit, right? Again, you're using the question who, you're using the verb is. Let's talk about this one. So the second sentence, I am reading the book Atomic Habits, right? So here the sentence has four parts. It has I, it has am, it has reading, then it has the book Atomic Habits, right? So if I say blah blah am reading the Atomic Habits, or blah blah is reading the book Atomic Habits, to find blah blah you will say who is reading the book Atomic Habits. So you are not just saying who, you are saying who is, and not just who is, you are using one more verb. So you are using who as a question, and then you are using the verb, main verb is reading, okay? So that is something. Let's talk about this one. I am reading blah blah. To find blah blah, you will say what are you reading, okay? So now you're not using who, you're using what, and you're saying what are you reading. So what and reading, okay? Focus on this. Let's talk about this one. I am teaching German, okay? So I am teaching blah blah. To find that blah blah, you will say what are you teaching, okay? What are teaching. Let's talk about this one. I am helping you. I am helping blah blah. To find this blah blah, the question that you will use is whom are you helping, okay? It's not who, it is whom are you helping, okay? Now this sentence, I am teaching German, you can provide more information over here, right? You can say I am teaching her German, I am teaching you German, I am teaching them German, right? So you are providing more information, right? So if I just say I am teaching German, your question can also be, okay, I understand you are teaching German, but whom are you teaching German, right? Who is the audience, right? So that can be provided by this information. Why am I saying all of this? Let's look at the next slide. So uh, let's stay here, right? So I am Rohit. So whenever the question, the missing information can be found out with the help of a who kind of question, okay, focus, who, not whom. Whenever it can be found out with the help of a who kind of question, it is nominative, okay? Here as well, who is Rohit, it is nominative, okay? So I as well as Rohit find themselves in nominative case. Then we have this, I am reading the book Atomic Habits. Here again, I is who is reading the book Atomic Habits, so it's nominative. The book Atomic Habits, to find this information, you are actually asking the question, what is he reading, okay? So this is in accusative case. All right, guys, you follow or I'm confusing you?
No, no, no.
Okay, you can
It's clear.
follow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then this reading, right? It's not necessary right now for this scenario, but this reading is. Not, I mean, if I say I am blah blah the Atomic Habits, you'll say blah blah. That means Rohit means a verb. Okay, so exactly what does he mean by blah blah? So what am I doing? If I say I verb the book Atomic Habits, I'm not giving you the verb, right? So to find that, you will say okay, that verb. What are you doing? What do you mean by blah blah? Right? That is the action. Okay, the next sentence, I am teaching German. So I is who is teaching German, so nominative. German, what am I teaching, right? It can be something like Rishabh is teaching German, Manjusha is teaching German, right? So what is she teaching, what is he teaching, right? What, that's why accusative. Okay, next sentence, I am is the same thing, you just provide one more information, that is you. Okay, so whom am I teaching German, or whom are you teaching German, or whom is she teaching, whom is he teaching, whom are they teaching? Whom is the main part, right? So whenever it is whom, again, don't take everything that I say at face value, you have to think about it later. What I'm trying to say is that whenever it is whom, missing information can be found with the help of a whom kind of question. It is safe to assume, you will be right most than 90% of the times, that it is dative. Okay, this one, I am helping you, I is who is helping you, right? So who, nominative. This you is can be found with the help of a whom kind of question, right? Whom am I helping, whom are you helping, whom is she helping? You get the point, right? So whom, it is dative. Now, so what I'm trying to say is that now in real life, when you are talking to someone, you will not be able to do all this. I mean, this is basically nothing, but if you ask me, this is, you're following certain rules, right? So if you want to frame a sentence, and if you don't know whether it is accusative, dative, nominative, you see, you do this check in your head, that specific thing that I'm trying to ask, whether it is dative, accusative, or nominative, with what question I can find that missing information. Now, when you are talking to someone, you don't have that much time, right? Let's say if I only speak German, and if I'm talking to you and you say, Rohit, ich kann Deutsch sprechen, you know, you'll say I can speak German, and then when I'm talking to, I see that you are doing all this calculation in your head. I will say, I'm very happy that you want to speak German, but I can speak English. We can continue English, right? This will be the reaction, and it's a good react. I don't want to waste my time, right? This is good to, for theory. It is good to understand. Uh, when you have some time, this is good to understand. When you're doing homework, you have enough time to think about statements and write. This is good to know, but it will not help you always. I mean, in real life, you have something else has to help you. We'll talk about that just in 5 minutes. Okay, so the same thing, yes, Manjusha. So, I mean, I hope you understand. If you have any questions, please ask. What I want, Manjusha, is that you can read the sentences. For example, you can replace Rohit with your name and please read. So, ich bin, ich lese, ich unterrichte. Please read these 5 sentences for me.
Yeah, sure. Ich bin Manjusha. Ich lese das Buch Atomic Habit. Ich unterricht Deutsch.
Unterrichte.
Unterrichte Deutsch. Ich unterrichte dir Deutsch. Ich helfe dir.
Okay, perfect, right? So, ich, it can be found with the help of the question. Please read the question.
Wer bin ich?
Right? Wer bin ich? Wer is the question? Wer?
Wer,
This one is as well. Wer ist Manjusha?
wer ist
Perfect.
Manjusha?
Please read this sentence.
Wer liest das Buch Atomic Habits?
Right? Again, the question is where. Please read this
Wer?
one.
Was liest er?
Again, so, was is the question? What?
Was? Okay. Wer unterrichtet Deutsch?
Yes. It's, the where, that's why nominative. This one.
Was unterrichte ich? Was mache ich?
Yeah.
Wer unterrichtet Deutsch? Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Manjusha, request for you. When you try to read something, again, not this is not just for you, it's for everyone. Once you have read something, we always meet people in life who have zero knowledge of something, but they have confidence so much, even if they say something wrong, it sounds that they are speaking something right. You know what I'm saying? So when you read, not just for you, but everyone, when you're learning a language, uh, confidence is the key. Again, I know I'm trying to, speak like a motivational speaker, but you have to speak with, read with, so that it also, even if you think you're reading something wrong, speak little bit, speak the way you normally speak. You know what I'm saying? For example, this is how I speak English. This is how I will speak German, or some other language, Spanish, for example, right? So what I'm saying, when you read something, read as if you are speaking the language since you were born. Okay, yeah. Here,
Wer unterrichtet Deutsch? Wem
unterrichtet.
unterrichtet Deutsch? Unterrichtet? Wer unterrichtet Deutsch? Wem
Not
unterrichtet
not
ich
sir. So
Deutsch?
you are saying wer unterrichtet, not sir. Sure, wer unterrichtet. Sure.
Okay.
Sure,
Wer
sure.
unterrichtet Deutsch? Deutsch. Wem unterrichte ich Deutsch? Was unterrichte ich?
So
Wem
wait.
helfe ich?
Thank you. Focus on the questions. Where, nominative.
Wer?
Wem, dative. Was, accusative. Right? Focus on the questions that you are asking.
Yeah.
Again, the question does not, when I say, so focus on, okay, let's finish this one. I'll finish this one. And Manisha, please read.
Wer hilft wem?
Yes. So
Wem helfe ich? Was mache ich?
wait, right? So there is a question, right? For example, ich bin Rohit. So ish and Rohit can be found out with the help of the where kind of question, who. And I'm saying whenever it is was, it is accusative. No. If you notice, what I was trying to say is that along with the question, you also have to focus on the verb. Okay, along with the question. So if only if it is where, Okay, so where is, as long as you have where, you forget about the verb. As long as the missing information is being found out with the help of a where kind of question, it is nominative. Whenever you have the missing information is being found out with the help of a was kind of question or what, you also have to focus on the verb. What do I mean by this? If I say, I am Rohit, I am a data engineer. Okay, so now a data engineer is of course a noun, but if you want to find out, if I say I am blah blah, okay, so you may say who are you, you may also say what are you. Both the questions are fine. One is about my identity, what is my name. The other one is about my profession. Makes sense, right? So what I'm saying is that
Right,
I can
right.
say question.
No, 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 right.
Okay, makes sense, right? Yeah. So if I say I am Rohit, sorry, I am blah blah, so that blah blah can be who are you, what are you. Again, focus, the verb is still the same. The verb is are, or the verb is to be, right? Who are you, what are you. So here the question is again who or what, but it still remains nominative because you are using the verb are. The main verb is are, the sign of German, right? So here, if I say, so why is it then accusative over here? Because here the verb is not to be, the verb is something else. Okay, so whenever, again, nominative, where nominative, what along with the verb are, to be, is also nominative. Anything else, any other verb with what is accusative. Okay, remember this, what I'm trying to say. As I said, this logic is not bulletproof. It will help you 90% of the times. Okay. One more thing to remember is that, every, let me write something. Normally you have subject, then you may have verb, and then you may have an object. To be more specific, a sentence can have multiple objects. Okay, it can have, what do I mean by this? Let me erase. I think where is my eraser? No idea. Okay, here, right? So if I say I teach German and mathematics, you will say, okay, yeah, I have two objects, but they are the same kind of object, right? So you have subject, you have verb, but they both are the same kind of object, and they both are direct object. What do you mean by direct object? When you say teach, if I say I teach, the logical question to ask is what do you teach. Okay, some people say, okay, the logical question to ask is also whom do you teach, right? But to me, every verb has a direct object and every verb has an indirect object. Direct object, for example, the direct effect that it has on the, for example, if you do, every verb implies some kind, like, not every verb, but there are two kinds of verbs that imply some kind of action, and there are verbs which just describe the state. For example, the verb sein, it does not, it just, for example, te is kalt, heute ist warm, ich bin Rohit. They are not describing action, right? They are just describing the state of something as it is, right? Then you have other kinds of verbs, for example, teaching, dancing, singing, right? These are verbs which describe some kind of action, and if there is an action, there has to be an influence, right? So the object that is getting directly influenced by that, right? I know this may sound confusing. Let's ignore all of this. So what I'm trying to say is that every verb will have a direct object and an indirect object. Now, direct object will be in accusative case. Okay, for example, ich lese das Buch Atomic Habits. Das Buch is the direct object, right? This is the one that is being read. Now, for example, if I say I have, there is I'm reading the book to you. You are standing in front, like I'm standing in front of in a classroom, and I'm reading the book, and you are listening, right? So I am reading the book to you. So you now are the indirect object. You just happen to be there. All I am doing is reading, but you are also there. So you are the indirect object. So what I'm trying to say. Please ask if I'm confusing you. If you don't ask, I don't know whether you understand or no. So now that you have some understanding of this, dative, accusative, why is it so important? It's again, in real life, when you're trying to speak, if, for example, if you say ich helfe dir, you know if instead of saying ich helfe dir, you say ich helfe dich, this happens to be accusative, people are not going to say, no, no, you are speaking wrong. They will know what you say. It's fine. In exam, of course, teacher will cut your marks. But the verb helfen is such a common verb. You should not do mistake over here. You should know that when I'm using helfen, it will be dative. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are some mistakes. It's fine if you do them, but if you're using the verb almost every day, every day you could talk to a client of yours, and colleague, can you help me? Can you help me? Someone tells you, can you help me? It's such a common verb. You should know when you use helfen, the object will be dative. Let's talk about this. So, uh, for example, so why is it so important, right? For example, here I am teaching German. Ich unterrichte Deutsch. Here the knowledge of dative, accusative, nominative is not needed, because what, even if you say, dot, even if you say Deutsch is let's say if you say it is genative. Okay, in your head if you say genative, but on paper if you still write Deutsch, whether it is nominative, accusative, or dative, you're still going to write Deutsch, right? It doesn't make any difference on paper. But the moment you use an article, for example here, right, you use the article das. You cannot use the article den. You cannot use the article them. You cannot use the article there. You cannot use the article des. Have to use das. Okay, so that is whenever you are using an article, that is where it is important, right? Whenever you are using a pronoun, right, so it is important. So whenever a noun is associated with an article, then the article has to be in the correct case, pronoun has to be in the correct case, is what you have to understand. Please ask if I'm
Okay.
confused. Yeah, yeah, thank you.
No, no, no. Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Just one question in the last slide. I have a question with it's a silly question, I know. No, that W word question. Now, in the ich unterrichte dir Deutsch, you have made the question where unterrichtet Deutsch, right? So you have made the conjugation where with et
Yeah,
unterrichtet, right?
yeah.
And with the in the second question, you made wem unterrichte ist Deutsch and was unterrichte Deutsch. So I know I'm a bit confused. It was unterrichtet and here unterrichte. So is it because of this nominative, accusative, and dative case,
This
right?
one, unterrichtet.
Yeah, unterrichtet and the other question, wem unterrichte, was unterrichte. So
Yeah,
here
sure.
conjugation is different.
Sure, right? So here, so you have to let's look at the verb unterrichten, right? So Rishabh, do you know the conjugation table for unterrichten? Rishabh, do you know the
Yeah,
conjugation table for unterrichten?
yeah, I can try.
Try. Ich,
Ich unterrichte, du unterricht, unterrichtet, yeah. Er
unterrichtest. Okay, so do is
unterrichtet,
always
okay.
going to end with the sound of est or st.
Erst.
Yeah,
Er,
RZS,
sie, es, unterrichtet.
unterrichtet.
Yeah.
Ihr,
Ihr unterrichtet.
okay, so it's the same one as RZS.
Yeah.
Now, here, okay, let's start with this one. Wer unterrichtet Deutsch? Here, what is the subject? Wer. What is where
Yeah.
in terms of party? First party, second party, third party. It's definitely not first party,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, is it second party? No, right?
No.
It's actually one
It's
of,
a third.
like third party, right? If you think about
Yeah,
it,
it's a third.
third party, right? That's why
Yeah.
you have to use unterrichtet,
Okay.
right? We are asking who, like who is that? Not me, not
Yeah.
you, someone else,
Third person.
third person, right? Here, wem, the subject is ich, right?
Ish.
That's why
Uh,
wem,
okay.
because
Yes.
wem is not the subject over here. Here, where was the subject? Here, wem is
Yes.
not the subject. Wem is the object, if you think about it,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Right, and
Thank
here
you.
it's obvious. So ich is the subject. So unterrichte. But very good question. Very good question. Not a silly question. Yeah. More questions?
No. Thank you.
Most welcome. Those who joined late, good morning, guys. If you have any questions, please ask because we started before you joined. Okay. Please ask. There's nothing wrong in asking questions, even if you join late. Okay. So why is all this important? Because for example, this dia, right? As I said, so you have do, then you have dish, then you have dia. This is nominative. This is accusative. This is dative, and that's why this is dia. You cannot say ich helfe du. Again, you can say, I know people who say ich helfe du. I will know what you're trying to say, but I will also know that, okay, your teacher did not put enough time with you. Your teacher did not scold you for not doing homework. I will know that. So This is why it's important, right? So now let's do one quick revision. Okay, if maybe not revision or something that you don't know. So here is the table for pronouns. This column is for nominative, this is for accusative, this is for dative. Narendra, please give me the column for, if you don't mind, can you give me the values for this column? Pronouns, this you should
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Nominative for I is ish, ear,
Come on,
do,
this cannot be a do. Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
yeah. Where,
Via.
yeah, yeah. Z,
So you mean she, right?
yeah, yeah. Z,
Yeah.
she.
For
Then
he,
for he also the ear,
not ear, air.
air. Yeah, sorry. It, it. Uh,
This is not good. Okay, you should know this.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is S. Okay, this one
Yes.
you plural but informal.
Dish,
No, no,
dish.
no. Dish, no, dish is not there. You plural. So you are talking to, for example, all of us,
Informal.
and
Okay.
you can be informal. Yeah.
Do,
No,
do.
do you already have here? This is for singular. Now we are talking about plural.
Mm,
Okay, it is ear.
yeah.
Let's talk
Okay.
about they, like third party they, plural.
Mm,
It is z, small z. Okay.
okay.
Now you, singular or plural, doesn't matter, but you have to be formal.
Inner.
No, it is capital S. You are talking about nominative case, Narendra. Okay, so I think,
Okay.
yeah. So as long as it is nominative, should be clear to you guys. If it's not a good thing. Okay, because every sentence that you write, every homework that you do, I ask you to write the sentence for different pronouns. Ish, tu, via, er, zs, and so on. Any questions, please ask. Now, who wants to give me the column for accusative? S. Prabhu, do you want to help me? Rishabh, maybe something difficult for you. Uh, S. Prabhu,
Yes.
yeah,
I
please.
think
Yeah,
it's difficult for me.
no problem. It's fine. Uh,
Uh, ish,
I'm not sure if we
it's
covered this or
difficult.
not, so I'm just testing you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not cover.
Okay, no problem. Rishabh, you can give the
Yeah.
answer. No problem.
Mm. Yeah. So Ishka, then it will be Mish.
Mish, yeah,
Do will be Dish.
yeah,
Via will be Uns. Hello, am I audible?
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. He should be Ian. Small z should be Z as it is, and S should be S. Yes. IH ear. Ear should be OH. EUCH. OH. Um, Z should be Z should be Z, and capital Z should be Z.
Okay, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so if you have not covered this for you guys, so here this is, there's nothing to teach. You just have to remember this table: ish, mish, do, dish, via, uns, er, in. So the good thing about Z is that it does not change. It's still the
It
same
doesn't.
one, right? Even S did not change, right?
Yeah.
So you only have to remember mish, dish, uns, in, and oish. So just five things you have to remember. And it's really, ish, mish. This is rhyming, so you can, ish, mish, do, dish, via, uns. uh, yeah, nothing to teach, you just have to remember dative. I think, yeah, here is the table. So S. Prabhu, do you mind reading this column for me?
Yeah, sure. It's mir, dir, uns, ihm, ihr, ihm, euch, ihm, ihnen, and ihnen.
Please read this again.
Euch,
Okay, oish. Okay, yeah. This time it was going to.
Oish.
Yeah. Remember
Okay.
this the column, guys. These values. Don't get confused between this ear and this ear. Okay, this ear
Mm,
again.
mm.
If I write just ear, how do you know which ear is it, right? But I know, I hope you know what I mean, right? So this ear is like you, plural informal in nominative case. This ear is she in dative case. Again, just want you to pay attention to this. Don't get confused. So this is what you know. Let's talk about articles. So yes, Narendra, please give me the definite articles. Narendra, not there. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, no, actually, I don't know this one.
God, no articles. Articles. Forgot there with us.
Uh, 1 minute.
So
I'm
every
just right.
so masculine, feminine, neutrum. Remember articles.
Yes.
Yeah, they all start with
Mask. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Thus.
Thus is here.
Okay. For feminine, there. dir.
No, no, Narendra. I think you need to revise. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Manjusha, please.
There.
Here it is. There.
Masculine, yeah, there. Das. The.
Okay. Accusative.
Then. Das.
Dative. If you know.
Them. Them. There or then. And thus. I forget this one. Feminine.
You should know this. Okay. Uh, not all of
Yeah.
you, but she should know that because I know that. I have some knowledge that you should know that. Okay, please pay attention, everyone. Here, this you already know, right? There, the, thus, the, right? Now, when you go from nominative to accusative case, only masculine changes. Focus. This one remains the same. This one remains the same. This one remains the same. Okay, so if you know the nominative articles, if you want to find out the accusative articles, only this one will become then, others remain the same. Okay, now when you go to dative, masculine and neutrum will be the same, them, feminine will become their, plural will become then. Okay, genitive not necessary, so ignore that for now, not needed for now. Okay, so saying it again, please, this one you should remember. Okay, when you go from nominative to accusative, only masculine changes, the others remain the same. In dative case, masculine and neutrum are the same, feminine is there, plural is then. Okay, this endings, pay attention. This will help you quite often, all not often, all the time. Okay, let's talk about, I think it is indefinite articles. So who else is there in the call? Yeah, Sivamani, do you feel like helping me? Indefinite articles.
Sorry, I don't know, sir.
No, don't know. You don't know this. Aina. Do you know this or you don't know?
Don't know.
No, don't know. Okay, no problem. That means it's your first session. No one else there. So
I can try.
yeah, go ahead. So first, give me the nominative ones.
Yes. Ein, eine, and ein, and eine.
It does not exist because this ein is something like a, right? So you say he is the such, the star. You say a
Hmm.
star, but if you want to say plural, you don't say, right, he is a stars. You just say they are stars, right? So plural does not exist.
Hmm.
Now
Oh.
here, if you know, you can do it, but just remember what I said. When you go from nominative to accusative, only masculine changes, so these two will remain the same. Also, when you went from nominative to accusative here, it ended with the sound of n, right? It ended with the sound of n. So you can use that logic to give me what do I have over here.
Uh, ein, ein,
Einen, right? It will end with the sound of
einen,
n, einen.
yes,
And these two will remain the
einen, same, okay.
same, right? Now, when you
Okay.
go from nominative to, sorry, when you are in dative case, remember what I told you, masculine and neutrum will be the
Then,
same, and they will end with the sound of m. So what do I have over here?
ein,
Einem. Okay, I mean, I know
einem,
what
einem,
einem.
einem,
Einem.
einem, yeah, einem, then einem,
Now here it ended with the sound of air. So what do I have over here?
Eier,
No,
Eier,
einer, einer.
eine,
I know
okay,
the logic that, but this is einer. Okay, einer.
okay.
Okay, so here are the answers. Eine, ein. Sivamani, please pay attention. Next time I will ask you. Next time you should know the answers. So when you go from nominative to accusative, only masculine changes. These two remain the same. Dative, these two are the same. They end with the sound of M. This one ends with the sound of air. Okay. Let's talk about negations article. Okay. Sivamani, I will tell you the negations article. See if you can help. Don't worry. This is not a test, but it's good to have some practice. I'm telling you, this is kind. This is
Kind.
also kind.
Kind.
This is keine. This is
Kind.
also keine. Okay.
Kind.
Now,
Okay.
I'm telling you, when you go from here to here, only this will change. So these three will remain the same. So these three will be as it is. And how this one changes, this you have to add the sound of n at the end. So what do you think I will have over here?
Kainen.
Kainen, right? Kainen. And this one, what is it? Same, please read. You have to pronounce it. Just
Kaina.
kaina here,
Kain.
here,
Kainen.
kaina. That's it. Okay. Now when you go to dative, notice what happens. Masculine and neutrum are the same, and they both end with the sound of m. So what do I have over here? In here,
Kainem.
kainem, and here, same, right? But
Kaina.
you have to say it kainem. Okay. Now
Yes.
feminine, it ends with the sound of air. So what do I think I have over here?
Kainer.
Kainer, right? To be, let's tell you, like, if you just add k everywhere, you get that table. You know what I'm saying? If you get k everywhere, if you get that table, right?
Okay.
Right. Now here,
Okay.
notice it ends with the sound of n. What do you think I will have over here?
Kainen.
Kainen, right? That's it. German is not that difficult. So thank you very much. So this table, now those who are joining for the first time, we call it the 4 a.m. test. If I come to your house at tomorrow at 4 a.m. in the morning, I take some cold water from your fridge and throw it on your face while you are sleeping. Of course, you can give me a tight slap because I just woke you up at 4 a.m. in the morning. But after that, you should give me this table. You should start speaking like this. There, the, das, the, das, the, them, there, them, then, this, there, this. You should just, this should be so obvious to you. Yes, Prabhu, please ask the question.
Yeah, it is a definite article is top table and below is indefinite. And
Yeah,
what
this
is
is
that middle?
definite. This is indefinite. This is negations article. Like,
Negative. Okay.
you can call it negative article, but I mean, I don't think if it is the correct translation. But negations article.
Okay.
But as long as you get the logic right, it is something like, for example, I am the man.
Hmm.
This is definite. Ich bin der Mann. I am
Hmm.
a man. This is indefinite. I am no man. This
Hmm.
is indefinite article, right?
Oh, okay. Are there any other article other than kind for negation?
No,
article?
negation is just this one. That's it. That's nothing else.
Okay, fine.
Negation, we have. Any more questions, yes, Prabhu?
Now, what is that third example you are given for negative?
Uh, for example, if I say, we
Hmm.
have an intern.
Hmm.
This is indefinite article. We
Hmm.
have no intern. This is negations article, right?
Hmm.
I know it's difficult to,
What?
like from English to German, but this, I mean, in English, we don't call it an article, but in German, if you have to say
Hmm.
this, you will have to use an article.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you will
What do
have
you
to.
call that name? That name negative? What is that in Deutsch? What is
It's
that?
called as negations article.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, no one is going to ask you this question in exam, like
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe they will ask you, but I think it's stupid to ask someone like, what are these, what are these, what are these? As long as you know how to use them, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. First
Uh,
time I'm hearing this negative actually.
okay. So have you already done
Yeah.
A1, or this is your first time hearing about A1? A1 level
Yeah.
German?
In October I did some, and I was not focused, so I was trying now.
Okay. No, okay. So this is something special about German language, right? People make fun
Mm-hmm.
of German language for being difficult. People use the word difficult. It's not
Hmm.
difficult. It's sophisticated.
Hmm.
you know if you are building something where you are considering all the aspects of life, how you can say different things. This is good about a language, right? So uh,
Hmm.
of course, English is easy, where you just say no and that's fine, but here, they have developed like 16 different words to say no. This makes
Hmm.
your life much more easier, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You will appreciate, when you learn some other language, for example Spanish or French, after learning German, you will appreciate the
Hmm.
value of German language. I hope I answered your question, right?
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So there is one more kind of article. So we are not yet there. Something called as possessive article. For example, she is, for example, it is the book. It is a book. It is no book. Or it is not a book. It is not a book. Right? So you will say es ist das Buch. Es ist ein Buch. Not a book. Es ist kein Buch. Right? Now if you want to say it is my book, your book, her book, his book, their book. Now you need articles for those as well, right? So these are referred to as possessive article, right? So I'll give you some hints. So for ish, you can use the hint of mine. Yes, Prabhu, can you read this column for me? Just read this one. So you can read
Yeah.
it like
Sure.
this, ish, mine, du, thine, then air,
Uh,
so something like this.
okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Ich mein, du dein, wir unser, ihr sein, äh, sie ihr, es sein, ihr euer, sie ihr, sie ihr.
Right. So this is the hint. Now, you know what I'm. If you notice here, this is from here, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yes. Nominative.
right. So now, but if you really have to think about, now, I'm trying to confuse you. Don't get confused, okay? I'm purposely trying to confuse you. So you have mine, right? So, these
Hmm.
were definite articles. These were indefinite articles. These were
Yeah.
negations article.
Hmm.
Now, mine will have its own table. You know what I'm trying to say? So if I
Hmm.
replace ka with m,
Hmm.
you will get the table for mine. Makes sense?
Hmm.
If I
Yeah.
replace ka with day, you will get the table for thine. What I'm trying to say is that each of these values, they will have their
Hmm.
own tables, 16 values,
Hmm.
right? So uh, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Hmm.
So let's, this is the table for mine. Yes, Prabhu, you can read this table. All you have to do is just read in this
Yeah.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Nominative.
Don't say
Mine, minor.
nominative. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Mine, minor. Mine, minor. Meinen, meine, mein, meine. Meinen, meinem, meine, meinen,
That's it. The Genitive,
meines.
genitive you can ignore for now, not needed. Yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
but even if you follow the logic, right? If you follow the logic, you can remember it right now. Why wait?
Hmm.
So here, so when you go from here to here, right? Again,
Hmm.
this. So you can use, if you want to get this table for mine, thine, all you have to do is replace ka with m, right? If you want to get the table
Hmm.
for thine, you replace ka with day, right?
Hmm.
Also, you don't have to do that. So if you know this one, if you want to go from here to here, remains the same, remains the same, remains the same. Only masculine changes, right? You have to add the sound of
Hmm.
n,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Dative, add the sound of m for neutrum and masculine, add the sound of n for plural, add the sound of air for feminine,
Hmm.
right? I think
Yeah.
genitive is wrong. I think it should be okay. We'll ignore genitive for now, but genitive,
Hmm.
masculine and neutrum remain the same. You have to add the sound of s. For feminine and plural, you have to add the sound of air. The genitive is wrong. Okay, here it is correct.
Hmm. Hmm.
Kindness. Okay, ignore genitive for now. So
Hmm.
now there is this thing about, again, this is important for exams. So if you are going to give an A2 A1 exam soon or some, please remember this. Whenever so these articles will not be used on their own, right? So you will have a sentence, right? So you will have a subject, you will have a verb, and then you will have a noun, and then noun will have an article. You know what I'm saying? Noun will be associated with an article, right? So whenever a noun finds itself in this case, it is plural, so the noun is plural, and it is in dative case, so you will use this article, right? Depending on whether you are using possessive article, definite article, indefinite article, sorry, negations article, because definite does not exist. There is, you also have to make sure one change to noun. So the noun, whenever the noun is plural and it finds itself in dative case, you also have to remember one more rule. So I hope you can read this. So I will just read it loudly for you. Dative, use some other color. So dative plural always adds an n to the plural form of the noun if one does not already exist. What I'm trying to say is that, so subject, verb, article, noun. Noun, if the noun is not already ending with the sound of n, you have to add the sound of n to it. Okay, for example, uh, uh, what is man in German? Like man, for example, man, woman,
Man,
man, right?
man,
So
man.
their man, right? Their man.
Then,
Plural,
hmm. Mm,
mena,
man,
mena,
man, mana, correct.
mena, right? Now,
Mana.
I don't know if you joined early or not, but I told you this verb ish. The verb is helfer. If you are saying I am helping the man,
Hmm.
the men, like plural, so you will say ish helfer, mena,
Dative.
right? And the article will be, let's say if I'm using the definite article, so I will go with this one, right? Then.
Yeah, yeah.
And because it is plural and it founds itself in dative case, and mena is ending with the sound of air, the sound of n is missing, so I will have to purposefully add n over it to it. That's why
Hmm.
it is den menen. Makes sense, right? Now if I'm saying ish helfer, instead of men, if I say I'm helping the woman, so what is woman in German?
Frau,
Frau, plural,
Freie,
Frauen.
Frauen.
So it is already ending with the sound of n, right? So
Hmm.
I don't have to add the sound of n to it because it is already ending with n, right? Is what I'm trying to say. I hope it made sense to
Hmm.
you. Okay, any questions, please ask.
Yeah, so this is first the table in center, which the two box vertical is possessive, right? And the above also possessive.
This table is possessive, this is
Okay.
definite, this is negation,
Oh,
this is indefinite.
hmm. And the below one,
This was just to,
center.
this is just, if you really want to know what this is, these are all
Hmm.
possessive article for masculine nominative case.
Okay.
So These are just possessive articles for masculine and nominative. This is a matrix, right? So for masculine and nominative scenario, it is this is the possessive article. So you can use this to build this entire table, right?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. More questions? Okay. If no more questions, one more thing you have to remember is that the way that we have this special rule for plural nouns ending in dative case, we also have one more rule for masculine and neutrum nouns which are in dative case. Okay, not just for possessive article, for any, this we're talking about nouns. So whenever you have that, these nouns, you will have to add the sound of a to it. For example, if you say I'm going home, so you say ish gehe. So to say, you actually use the, again, this is not a1, but nak is a what do you call it, it's a preposition, and it requires that what comes after nak is in dative case. And you are saying house, and because house happens to be a neutral kind of noun, you have to add the sound of a to it, hauser. That's why you say ich gehe nach hause. Again, if I'm confusing you, please ask questions, but uh, yes. uh, let's continue if there are no more questions.
Rohit, when we use zoo house,
Yeah, because that's also dative. So after su, it is dative. That's why you have to add add the sound of a to it, because after su it is dative, and house happens to be a neutrum kind of noun, so you have to add hauser.
mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So commonly used is in Nark house.
No. Nach hauser is correct. You'll never hear nach house. Nach hauser. You never say, right?
Okay.
Ich gehe nach. You always hear ich gehe nach Hause. Ich bleib zu Hause.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because
Thank you.
many people know it just because they heard somebody. There is a rule behind it, right? So again, I'm saying many, not
Yeah.
always. Many. Okay, using the word many. If you forget this rule, you may lose a few marks in exam. But if you're fine with everything else, what I'm trying to say is that don't. If you did not get what I'm trying to say, it's fine. You can watch the recording later and try to understand. Uh, yeah, focus on other things. What is important is that you remember first of all these tables. Okay, watch the recording again, write it, maybe remember. Make sure you pass the 4 a.m. test. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That red color one, I could not read it properly. That
which one?
highlighted in red, the
Red
first
one.
line. Uh,
It's what I explained to you, right? So can you read
mhm.
now?
Yeah, better.
So whenever a noun is plural
Mhm.
and it finds itself in dative case. So whenever a noun, it is plural and it finds itself in dative case, and the noun is not having the sound of n to it,
Mm,
you have to
mm.
add the sound of n to it. If it already has the sound of n, nothing need to be added. Think about,
Oh, okay.
so I don't know what your mother tongue is, right? In our tongues, sometimes we, for example, in my mother tongue, if I really have to
Mm,
speak it, if I have to say book, I will say bukwa or bukya. You know what
mm,
I'm trying to say?
mm,
So I have to add the sound
mm,
of this iya or ua to it, depending on to
mm,
whom I'm talking to. So
mm,
just think about it. You know what I'm trying to say?
mm.
You have to
Yeah, yeah,
add,
yeah.
make the noun sound a little bit different,
Okay.
right? It's something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So even though you remember, if even though I used an English word book, but if I use
mm,
that word in my mother tongue, I have to add the sound of va or ia to it. And
mm,
depending on whether it is feminine or masculine, I will have to use it differently. The same applies to German language as well.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
please ask if it is not clear. There is no harm in asking questions again and again.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll continue then. No, we spoke about this. If those who joined late, I told you how to we had this entire exercise on how to identify nominative, accusative, and dative things, right? So I told you how you can do that, right? uh, you don't have to when you're talking to someone and you do all this calculation in your head, the guy will ask, they will say, okay, we can continue in English in talking, you don't have to use so much horsepower to talk to me in German. But if you want to avoid that awkward situation, what you can do is, let me add one slide. Why can't I add slide? Okay, no problem. If I cannot add
Rohit, is there any trick to remember all these things?
this table,
Like, or just be, yeah, the
I
all
just
tables?
I did told you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to remember,
Apart from that,
no, apart from that, there is no table. One trick is that you practice it, and if you practice it so often that you don't have
okay,
to remember the table. For
okay,
example, if
okay.
someone asks me to like read the alphabets of my mother tongue in that order, I will not be able to do it. But if you ask me to read the book, I will read.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's something like, if
Yeah, yeah,
someone
yeah.
asks me to give, yeah, I hope you get the idea. So, but the trick
Yes,
is,
yes. I got it.
if you remember this one, if you remember this table, so if you remember this, sorry, remember this, you can build this table. And if you can build this table, you can build any other table, right? Because if you can
Yeah,
build,
yeah,
right? So yeah, uh, the trick is you practice as often as you can, and then life becomes easier. Yes. So let's
yeah.
talk about this. Yes. So let's talk about this nominative accusative thing. uh you know I will later maybe sometime share a PDF with you where I tell you exactly how many words do you need to know to master the German language for your personal life. Okay, not for some, for your personal life. But you have a subject, you have a verb, and then you may have an object. Now, subject is almost, we're talking about this nominative, accusative, dative thing, right? Because we had this, right? That you have to identify whether the noun is in accusat. Like, first you have to identify whether it is masculine, feminine, neutrum, or whatever else, right? And then you have to identify whether it is nominative, accusative, or dative thing. Now, this whether the noun is masculine, neutrum, or feminine. For this, you remember in the last, or I think in the second or third session, I gave you a slide where I had given you some common endings which you can use to for example, any noun which ends with the sound of ung, which gender is it? Whether it is masculine, feminine, or neutrum?
Feminine.
Feminine.
Yeah, correct.
Anything ending with, right? Anything ending with sion, it is
Mm. It is
feminine.
feminine.
Feminine. Anything ending with the sound of shen,
Neutral.
neutrum, like Mädchen, Päckchen, so on.
Mm.
Anything ending with the sound of air,
Here is masculine.
mostly masculine, right? So you can use this. So I gave you some
Mm.
endings. Now that is something you can remember, right? Also, it's
Yeah.
always good to build an intuition. I give you this example. Once I was working, I had some vacation, so I worked at the university. There was this science exhibition, like science competition going on. So all I had to do was just make sure that kids uh, don't leave, the like, I have to just make sure that it was kind of like, I just had to stand there, all I had to do, right? And there I was standing, and of course I believe I was the only non-German over there, if I'm not wrong. And towards I don't know, at the end we had to, so we had like, we had to make a place where there was sand on the floor, because the kids were like testing their, their cars, like the cars that they had built on them. And at the end, I think there was this girl, she said something, she used the word Zand. So, sand in German, it's the same, but it is Zand. You don't say sand, you say Zand. And I remember clearly, even if you ask me right now, which article is it, whether it is there, the, or das, I don't remember. But I think it is there if I have to take a guess. So I think she used one of the articles, and I told her, you are wrong. And I told her with so much confidence that she thought, okay, maybe I am right. Like, she being a German, she thought that she is wrong, because I said that, okay, you are not using the correct article for it. At the end, I was wrong. At the end, it was me who I was wrong. But the way I told her, I said, like, you are not, I told her, like, you're using the wrong article. What I'm trying to say is that you should have this confidence that, let's say, in an entire, if you're saying us, if you're saying 10 sentences, and in those 10 sentences there is one sentence, in that one sentence there was one noun. Of that noun, you forgot to you don't know which article is it. It's not that big a deal. Okay. So these articles, it's good to know them, but don't, if you make mistakes here and there, don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, let's talk about this. So nominative, accusative, dative. Okay, so you have a subject, you have a verb, and you have an object. Normally, this is what a sentence is made up of. Okay, subject is almost always, okay, I am not saying always, I'm saying almost always nominative. Okay, object object can be nominative, can be accusative, can be dative, can be genative, right? If you have to use the trick, you have to figure out what verb you are using, right? So there is nothing called as accusative verbs, dative verbs, genative verbs. But to me, I think that there are verbs which are dative, there are verbs which are accusative, there are verbs which are nominative. What do I mean by that? So if it is a nominative verb, the object will be nominative. If it's a dative verb, then the object will be dative, is what I'm trying to say, right? So there are verbs for, so object will be nominative for nominative verbs, and there are just 3 to 4 verbs. For example, sein, heißen, werden. These 3 verbs, if you remember. So whenever you're using these 3 verbs, the object will be nominative. Accusative by default. Okay, by default. If you don't know what it is, go with accusative. So if you in dative, if you and I sit down and if you buy me coffee, let's say let's say tomorrow, if you invite me to a cafeteria, a nice cafeteria, and you buy me coffee, 2 coffee and 2 cheesecake, okay, one in the beginning, one at the end. I will talk to you and I will make a list of dative verbs for you. I will talk to you, what do you do, what is your life like, whom do you meet, what is the kind of work that you do, which tools do you use, and I will make this list of dative verbs. Believe me, this list will not be more than 100 verbs for your entire life. This list, okay, of course, I may be wrong, but mostly I'm right. So if I make this list of dative verbs for you for your life, it will not be more than 100. So if you just remember these 100 verbs, you know that these verbs, when you use them, the object will be dative, right? Are there verbs which require the object to be in genitive case? Yes. Do you need them in real life? No. If you are author, if you are a journalist, if you are working in the area where you have to write a lot and you have to be correct a lot of times, yes. That's why I say, TV presenter, news reporter, author, journal writer. For these people, they need these verbs. People like us, we don't need these verbs. So only 3 are left: nominative, accusative, dative. Nominative, I've gave you these 3. Dative, there are 100. 100, actually, I have added a factor of 50%. So you actually need 50 verbs, if you ask me. And by default, if it is not one of these, if it is not one of this list from you, by default it is accusative. So I hope it made sense what I just spoke. If not, please ask, because I don't know if I made sense to you. Now here is a list of some dative verbs. So who wants to read for me?
Myself.
You go ahead, please read.
Yeah.
You also have to give the
Helfen.
meanings as well.
Oh my God. Helfen
Yes.
is help.
Help, yeah.
Yeah. And geben is give.
Yeah, but so I have added this as dative verbs.
To give.
Given, but I give, but it's actually not a dative verb, it's an accusative verb. Okay, ignore this. But if I say geben, ich gebe, the direct, for example, what are you giving? Like, I gave the book. The book will be accusative, but to whom are you giving? That will be dative, right? Yeah. Schenken.
Okay. Schenken. Yeah, Schenken. I don't know.
If I invite you on my birthday, what should you bring?
Gift.
Of course.
Present.
So Schenken is to
Yeah.
gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Antwerpen answer.
Yeah, I think this list is not correct, guys. I believe that many of these are accusative verbs. We'll skip this list. But okay, I'll remove the dative thing from here, but you can still read the verbs. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Antworten.
Duncan. Antwerpen answer.
Yeah.
And Duncan. Is it thank you?
Yeah, to thank. Okay, these are not nouns, these are verbs. So to thank.
Yeah. To thank. Yeah. Gefallen. I don't know.
Gefallen. Okay, anyone else?
To like. Ich gefalle
Yeah, to
mir.
like or to appeal. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Okay. Glauben. Glauben. No.
There are two kinds of people in life. People who okay, yeah, I can't. Stupid story.
Believe.
Anyone want
To believe.
to believe? Yeah, believe.
No, probably. Okay. Glauben. Gehören. Gehören.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
To hear.
To hear.
Belong.
Yeah.
To belong.
Yeah.
To belong.
To belong.
Gehören
Come,
is right.
Karthikeyan, don't do this mistake. To hear is hören. Gehören
Yeah.
is
Okay.
something else.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. This one.
Belong.
Be-
It's belong.
Yeah.
Belong.
Belong.
Folgen. Volgen, right?
Yeah.
Folgen.
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 Folgen. Yeah.
To fly.
No.
Right?
Uh,
Okay.
no. What is okay? How do you say fly in German, guys?
Flug.
No.
Flu.
Flug is flight. That is the noun. Fliegen. Sorry if I laugh, Prabhu.
Fliegen.
I hope you don't mind. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I found it very
That's
cute,
okay.
not funny. Okay. I found it cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Folgen means, but you still need to know the meaning of Folgen.
Okay. Fine. It's a begegnen.
No, no, but meaning. Come on. Okay. Someone else give me the meaning of
Oh,
Folgen, please.
To follow.
To follow. To follow. Like, do you
okay.
follow me or
Okay.
not?
Okay. To begegnen. I don't know.
Okay. I think anyone else?
To encounter or
To
to
encounter,
face.
to for example, my boss gave me a task, and he told me that finish it in 1 week, and after 1 week I tell him that I'm not able to do the task. My boss is very nice. He will not say like, why did you not finish the task, you are dumb and all. He'll just say, okay, Rohit, what kind of problems are we facing? So what kind of, like,
Hmm.
welche Probleme begegnen wir? To face, to encounter, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, next verb.
Okay. It's stimmen. Stimmen.
So this is a trennbare
Uh,
verb, guys. So it is, zu is prefix,
Yeah.
which is separable. Meaning, anyone?
Means to agree. Like sie
To
wollte nicht zustimmen.
Yeah, right. So zu stimmen.
hmm.
For example, very often you will hear the Germans say this: Das
Hmm.
stimme ich dir zu. This means that they agree with your point. This you will hear very often when you are in a meeting, right? Someone says this and you say, no, I don't believe that, and
Hmm.
so they will say, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
I agree with you. Das stimme ich dir zu. Yeah.
I have
Next.
also heard like sie wollte nicht zustimmen.
Yeah, they did not want to agree. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Next verb.
It's Vertrauen. Vertrauen.
Meaning,
Vertrauen.
anyone?
No.
In a relationship, there is a specific that is very important. What is that thing?
Trust.
Trust. Vertrauen means to trust.
Yes. Okay.
Widersprechen, this one.
Registration is something to speak.
When
Something.
no, no, not. Sprechen means to speak. In school,
Hmm. Hmm.
if a teacher said something, you have to, if you, for example, in my school at least, we had this sports teacher. If he says something, we have to accept it. You cannot,
Hmm.
ich kann ihn nicht widersprechen.
Hmm.
So what do you think
Cannot
widersprechen?
answer that.
You cannot answer
To
back.
accept.
Also, you cannot, like, say that. So widersprechen can have many meanings. I will request you to go to Leo and think what kind of meanings it has. It's to speak
Hmm.
against or to not completely agree.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Contradiction.
Yes, something like that. Contradict as well. Yeah. Suhyun.
Sworn. Hmm.
So this is a trennbare verb, and it's
Hmm.
so it's hear. Hören means to hear.
Hmm.
I hear. But if I want to say I
Hmm.
listen to you, I will say ich höre dir zu. So it's to listen to someone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Erklären.
Erklären. No.
Karthikeyan.
Erklären.
Sorry, Prabhu. You need to work on
E-
your verbs.
e-
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah. Explain. Yeah. Explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sorry to ask. So the Gehören and Zuhören. Could you please tell me? Zuhören means to listen someone,
Yeah. So you have this.
and
Yes. So you have the verb hören.
yeah. So to hear.
Ich höre. Okay, then you have zuhören.
I am listening.
Yeah, ich höre zu. It's it's very difficult to explain the difference between hören and zuhören, but it's very easy to understand when you listen to people. For example, when you, let's say, if you and I are talking, right? Sometimes I say, right, guys, can you listen to me? Like, do you listen to me? Right? So I am. So then I should say zuhören. It's kind of like listening. Uh, it's very difficult to explain, but very easy to understand if you think about examples. Uh, if you say
Yeah,
ich
I
höre,
understand.
We can say ich höre Musik oder ich höre deine Präditionen,
yeah, you can
something
say
like that.
that. You can say that. When you say ich höre zu, that means someone else is speaking and you are listening. Okay, and that's why when you say ich höre, you normally you use the object as well. That is, ich höre dir zu. I'm listening to you. Ich höre euch zu, right? Ich höre ihr zu, like, and I'm listening to her. Okay, so this is a dative verb. Okay, so I think some of these verbs are like, I'll tell you this. Geben is not a dative verb. Antworten is not a dative verb. I think most of the other ones are dative verbs. Okay, yeah, other ones are
And
dative.
gay here means sorry. So
Gehören
here
is,
Zu
for example, I right now I'm using my tablet, right? So tablet, gehört mir. I'm also using my laptop. Laptop, gehört mir. It belongs to me. Let's say Karthik and you and I in winter we go to winter, like, winter bag in Germany to ski, right? And in the train we see that there is a phone lying around. I will pick up that phone and ask, hey, wem gehört das Handy? To whom does this phone belong?
okay.
Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So more
So
questions?
Zuhören is the 10 bar, but gay Huron is not 10 bar.
It's not Ranbar.
Is
Yeah,
it correct?
that's correct. It's not
Okay.
Ranbar. So, just to make sure, so Gaben, if you
And
remove, yeah, go on.
and one more thing, one question actually.
Yeah,
Generally, zoo means is close something, correct? So for example, zoo marker means close the door, something like that.
it depends
So
on with
so
verb.
is
So Zumachen, yes, but
okay.
here it does not mean that.
Okay.
No, so if you're thinking that whenever you see the verb, the sound of zu, you will think close by. It's wrong. It's
Yeah,
incorrect.
correct. Okay.
Yeah,
It's not like that.
yeah. But su on its own means su. For example, if I say, "Hey, why are we not going inside the house?" You will say, "Rohit, this is su." If you use su as it is, not with any other verb, it means close. For example,
Okay.
laden is su, kiosk is su, house, tue is su. Su on its own means closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
An opposite
Okay.
of
Fine.
su is auf,
Off.
like open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
More
Okay.
questions?
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
So just to sum up, guys, I think if I remove geben and schenken from this, antworten from this list, all the other verbs are dative verbs, implying, again, there is nothing called as dative verbs. This is just thing that some stupid people like myself try to think of as. So I tell you that whenever you see any of these verbs, the object will be dative. Okay, the object will be dative. You have to make your own list. Now, how do you make your list of dative verbs? You don't make your list of dative verbs. You make a list of verbs that are necessary for your life, and then you classify them into dative or accusative. Okay, how do you do that? As I've said multiple times, you sleep for 8 hours, you are awake for 16 hours normally. 16 hours you divide into 32 pieces. Okay, so let's say you woke up at 6 a.m. because you wanted to hear my voice. So from 6 to 6:30 is one time, one of these 32 pieces. From 6:30 to 7 is another of these 32 pieces, right? So you think about this 6 to 6:30, and you start to write whatever happens from this time to this time. Okay, then you write whatever happens from 7 to 7:30. Write in English, don't need to write in German. Write in English. And once you have written in English, this will take some time. This will take a month or two, right? Because on the very first day you will not be able to write, cover all the pieces, all 32 pieces. You will cover maybe, some, for example, you don't have to start from 6, right? You can, for example, let's say every day from 9 to 9:15 you have your daily call with your team, right? You have scrum daily, right? Daily stand up. You just make sure whatever happens between 9 to 9:30 you write about that. you know I join the team's call, the colleague says this, the colleague says hi, welcome, and you say I have this update, I have no update. You start writing about all that. Once you have written in English, then we can think, okay, in this English I use these verbs, what are the corresponding German verbs? I use these nouns, what are the corresponding German nouns? This is how you do it. Please ask if you have any questions about what I just said. And why do I say, like, focus, like, why do you need to do this 32 pieces? If you can describe your entire day from the time you wake up till the time you hit the bed in German, your German is better than mine. Because if I have to write everything about my day, there are chances that I will not be able to say specific things in German. So if you can describe your entire day in a language, I think your language is pretty good, is what I'm trying to say. If you can describe your entire day in German language. Yeah. Because your day covers everything, right? You're meeting with boss, client, with your children of your school, or teachers of your children, and everything. Let's do this test, guys, because I don't think we'll cover the Wechsel preposition in today. So let's try to make let's try to make you feel bad about your progress. So these are things that I find in my office or in my home office as well. So and I think you also will find most of these things, maybe apart from the printer. uh, and I should know what are these things in German language. So Karthikeyan, you, if you don't mind, please give me the German nouns.
The stool,
Der Stuhl.
their stool.
Yeah.
Okay, table. Um,
Come on.
it's Tasche, Tasche,
No, Tasha means something else. What is Tasha?
Bag.
Tasche, bag.
Bag. Yeah. Table.
Tisha,
Tish. Not Tisha. Tisha will be plural. Tish. There we das.
tish. There.
There.
Das.
Das. No, there. Think, when I move a table makes a very, 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 if I move the table, it will make a screeching sound. And normally men make screeching sound, so you should use some stupid logic to remember, okay, table is masculine. Laptop.
Mm,
Come on.
I think laptop only.
The laptop only. There the das.
The
Yeah. So people will fight. So it is definite, when you if I ask you there the das, you should first of all ask whether it is the or not. If you don't know the, then you should ask whether it is there or das, because many of the rules, for example, the table that I showed you, right, for dative and for neutrum, it's the same rules, right? That's why I say, right, so first ask whether it is the or not. If you don't know whether it is, if you are sure it is not the, then you can decide one of these. Laptop, it can be das, it can be there, depending on whom you ask. Even in Leo itself, you will see both the genders for laptop. Next one.
monitor.
Karthik, can you sit in front of your monitor every day? It never bothered you to like check in Leo what is it called in German language?
Mm,
So today, homework for everyone. Look around your apartment. See
okay.
what are the nouns for these things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Monitor, anyone?
Bildschirm.
Bildschirm. There Didas.
Der Bildschirm.
There Bildschirm. It's also monitor. You can also say monitor. Rack, shelf. The cupboards without doors.
Shirk.
If you have some time, Germany has this really nicely built IKEAs. Just go, buy. It's also a nice place to hang out if you're new in Germany. Just go around. Look, you will find some really nice furniture over there, and just start reading. What is this called? What is that called? It's a nice place to. Not the best place to spend your Saturday, but if you have some time, just go around. You will find all these things in IKEA. The names. Uh, it's Regal. There the
Das Regal.
Das Regal. Printer.
Drucken.
Drucker. There the It's ending with the sound of air.
Then there.
There. Yeah. Cabinet.
Cabinet.
Cabinet, like where you keep like regal, but with doors. Okay. What is a refrigerator called in German, Karthikeyan?
Shrunk.
Kühlschrank.
Kühlschrank.
Yeah.
Kühlschrank.
And this is Schrank. Okay. There the das.
Yeah. I think thus.
There. Okay. Now I. This is why I'm telling you this. Why I'm making you feel bad. Not just Karthikeyan, all of you. Okay. Uh, it should bother you that these things are lying around you and you don't know what they are called in German. Okay. You don't have to learn these things. Focus on the most important part of your life, where you think you have. For example, if you have a kid and you take the kid to school every day, right? Think what are the things called in for example, your kid may be sitting on a desk, your kid may be looking at a blackboard, your kid may be using a book. What are these things called in German? What is most important to you? For example, if you're a data engineer, focused on those. If you are a mechanical engineer, focus on that. That kind of vocabulary. What is most important to you? You can start from there. uh, this we discussed. So this is the answers, guys, if you want to check the answers. uh S Prabhu or Sivamani, do you feel like playing the game? Like, it's fine if you give wrong answers.
Yeah, yes.
Go ahead. You have
So
to give me
far,
the German nouns, yeah, and the article as well. So it can be there, the, or das. So what do you think sofa is?
mm, der,
I'm not sure. Anyone else who think, what do you think sofa is, there, the, or das?
Das sofa.
I think that's sofa. Yeah. But even if you say there, if you it even if you say there, many of the rules you will still be right, because most of the rules which apply are the same for there as well as das. What I'm trying to say. Couch, Sivamani. Couch is like, like it's kind of a chair, and I mean, couch is also couch. You can just say couch, but couch, I mean, some place where you sit, like it's like a chair and you can relax on it. Okay. Maybe someone else can play the game. Rishabh.
Yeah. Couch. I don't know the meaning. What's said in German, but I think die couch. It should be die couch.
Okay. Yeah. Next one.
Armchair. Mm, uh, der session.
Not sure, sir. Okay, not sure, sir. Cecil.
Session. Okay.
This one we already discussed.
Next one is carpet. Carpet. I think.
Carpet is yeah. What? What is carpet?
Carpet. Tapete. I think
Tepish.
tapete.
Tepish. Yeah.
Der tapete.
Yeah. TV.
Regal. We just said regal.
Yeah. TV.
Sensation.
Fencer. Remote. Come on. Okay, you don't need to know this, but fan bedinigum. Fan bedinigum.
Fan bedinigum. What's the article?
It's ending with ong. What do you think it is?
D.
Yeah.
D. Yeah.
Yeah. Photos. You have photos on the wall where you live. Photos or builder.
Build.
Das build. Plural, the builder. Yeah. Here are the answers. You can have a look at them later. These ones. Kitchen. Anyone else apart from like anyone else wants to play? Narendra, feel like playing? Okay, doesn't want to play. He's not in the call. Okay. Yes, Prabhu, do you want to?
Sorry, I don't know in Deutsch words.
Okay, no problem. Karthikeyan?
Yeah, some words I know actually.
Okay, go ahead. Be quick about it.
Yeah, refrigerator, Kühlschrank, freezer, Or dining table also.
Come on, these things you will use every day. Okay, rolling pin maybe not. You're not maybe chapatis. You're just buying tortillas, but everything else you use every day. Okay,
Freezer gave my chunk.
give free a shrunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, dining. What is table? What is just table?
Dish.
Tish,
Dish.
right? S tish, and dining table is S tish.
Yes, dish.
Yeah,
Is dish? Is it is dish?
no double S.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
dish.
give you the answers, guys. There is no point in. I think you. I'll just think. Plates is like teller. Bowls is what is bowl? I forgot. Shala, I believe. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Spoon is löffel. Knives is messer. Fork is gabel. Uh, Cooking pot is like what do you call cooking pot? Just thinking.
is
Uh, yeah, I forgot. Cooking pan like fana. Rolling pin. Holz noodle, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Again, uh, focus on those. This is just an example. You don't have to focus on your kitchen. Focus. Just think. Take some time. Take some time, 1 hour, 2 hour. Think what is the most important part of your day where you have to speak German and learn that vocabulary. Okay. I keep saying this again and again. Now, please learn uh, adjectives. They are very important. Okay. So, Karthikeyan, you can maybe read the adjectives and give me the meanings if you know.
okay. Um, hell, dunkel. Dunkel means bright.
No, just the opposite.
Opposite. Okay.
Hell,
Dark.
hell
Okay.
means yeah,
Hell means bright. Okay.
yeah.
Teuer, expensive. Günstig, billig, cheaper.
Yeah.
Klein, gross.
Wait.
Small,
So there is a difference between Gunst. They both mean like, of course, less expensive, but if you say billish, it means cheap. Günstig means like not expensive or affordable. So for example, if I buy something for you, let's say if I get something at a discount, I will not say es ist billig. I will say es ist günstig. Because if I say billig, there's a bit difference between cheap and less expensive, right? I hope you know the difference. Yeah. Continue.
okay. Klein, gross. Small, big. Uh, then ruhig, loud. Sorry, this I don't know. Ruhig, loud.
Silent,
Yeah,
like,
not
Quiet.
not
Quiet.
yeah,
like
Silent, quiet.
yeah,
quiet.
quiet. For example, you're looking for an apartment. You don't want it to be very loud, right? You're looking for a
Right.
like ich suche nach einem ruhigen Ort. So like quiet place. Yeah,
So quite
quiet.
noisy, something like that.
Loud is noisy, like loud. Ruhig is like quiet. Yeah,
Okay. Long course. Big, small. Then next, schon heißlich.
hässlich.
Hässlich.
Okay, I don't think you.
Schon.
Yeah, I don't think you need this one because I don't think it's not a good thing to call someone hässlich. Sean, what do you mean? Think it means
Beautiful.
beautiful or pretty.
Nice.
Hässlich, I don't think you need it unless and until you want to describe your friend's apartment. Of course, you can use this apartment, but normally you don't need this, right? Yeah. Next one.
Gut, schlecht. So good, bad.
Yeah.
Jung, neu, alt. Young, new, old.
Yes.
R- reich, arm. Reich, arm.
Elon
Rich,
Musk is
poor.
rich.
Rich and poor.
Yeah.
Or
right?
rich and poor. Okay.
Yeah.
Reich, arm. Okay. Cult, warm, heiß. Cold, hot.
This is hot. This is warm. So you say it like warm, but it's the same. So this is in English we call it warm. In German we call it warm. Like not hot, not
Warm.
cold. It's the kind of temperature you need for your bathing water, right? Heiß is for your tea. right?
Okay.
Now this, arm, German is not that different from English. For example, Elon Musk is Reich, ich bin arm, compared to Elon Musk, right? So Elon Musk is Reich, ich bin arm. It does not, so you know what it means. You can also, let's say, for example, you poor guy, you don't mean poor as, you, for example, someone is going through a bad phase, you'll say, man, this poor guy, so you can also use the same thing in German. Der arme Mann. It does not mean he has less money. You're just using the adjective in a different way, so you can use it in different way. I hope you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, adjectives are your friends. If you know a lot of adjectives, and if you know the verb sein, you can say so many different things. Adjectives are your friends, so if you go to if I'm not wrong, from the movies that I have seen, if you go to a like, people who, like, who help you go, like, if you have something bad happen in your life, they will sit and talk to you, like, what happened and all this. They will tell you to, describe, what exactly happened, describe how you are feeling. And if you want to do that, you have to use adjectives, right? For example, how you are feeling, I am angry, sad, agitated, frustrated, stressed, hungry. It's a good thing to know a lot of adjectives. Please describe, I don't have to, I'm this homework is, describe each room in your apartment with the help of adjectives, right? And you don't have to, you can describe something else, whatever is important to you. Okay. If you don't know what's important, go with your apartment. Okay. uh, what I want you to do is that, I think we have some time left. When you are using adjectives, right, along with adjectives, you can use these two words, su and sehr. If I say, you know for example, uh, let me say, uh, let's say I have 20k euros. Let's assume that. Okay. I am neither poor, I am not rich. So you can, let's say, you can say, let's say if someone has 20k euros, you will say, ich bin arm. I have a friend, he has 100k, right? Of course, this guy is rich. I mean, if you ask me, er ist reich. Then there is a guy like Elon Musk. He has like 200 billion, like 200 billion US dollars. For him, you cannot just say rich. You have to say something more. To be specific, you will say es mega reich, you know. But let's stick to German language. So instead of saying, you cannot say just rich, you have to say he is very rich, right? So you will say es sehr reich. 10 degrees is cold. Minus 10 degrees is not cold. It's very cold. So whenever you want to say very, you have to use the verb sehr. Then what about su? They both mean the same. They both mean very, but sehr is kind of positive. Su is kind of negative. What do I mean by this? Let's say you have a friend or someone, he gets like, like passing marks are 35 out of 100, and he gets 33. This is not schlecht. This is very schlecht. So, zu schlecht. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, zu is whenever you want to say something negative. Sehr, for example, passing as 35, he gets 75. This is good. But if he gets 100 out of 100, this is sehr gut. Okay? Here you cannot say zu gut. Zu gut will imply something negative. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. Any questions? Okay. For example, apartment is like, as any questions, please ask. Otherwise, I think I don't know. So zu and sehr, they both mean very. You can use them to describe adjectives. But sehr is kind of positive, su is kind of negative. Okay. Of course, we'll talk about this next time. I think we have covered enough for today. We'll continue talking about this next time as well. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, I think if I continue talking, this will be too much for one session. Please ask if you have any questions from any topic. Otherwise, we can end the call after 10 seconds.
No, all good.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The
Please do the.
previous slide.
Yeah, go. Yeah, please. Previous slide. Which one?
Yeah, can the kitchen one? Can you?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. This last one, it is a correct a rolling pin
A
or
rolling
pan?
pin is
What
like
is that?
Hol's noodle. It's something that you use to make chapatis. Rolling pin.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can also, some people use it to make like, when you make pasta, when you really have, you prepare the dough and then you have to roll it. Rolling pin,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I don't know what
Okay,
in
okay,
English. In English, of course, it's rolling pin. In German, I think it's called as Holz noodle, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
okay, okay. I thought rolling pin pan.
The spelling is wrong, of course. It's ROLLING. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Most welcome. If not, please do the homework. Those who are joining for the first time, the recording is there on the channel. Please go through the recording. I know it's very boring, but you have to learn the German language. Okay. I mean, but do I say because you joined, and I don't know whether you have to or you don't have to, but if you join this session, that means there is some reason for you to learn the language, right? So please put the effort now instead of putting after 5 6 years when you feel bad for not having learned German even after saying for 5 to 6 years. Again, yeah. If there are no more questions, thank you very much for joining, guys. I hope wish you a nice start of the week. We'll see each other again on Thursday. And until then, please try to learn German, learn vocabulary, learn adjectives. Grammar, anyone can teach. I will teach you grammar if you buy me coffee and cheesecake. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining. We will end the call after 5 seconds. So I'll count from 5 to 1 and then we'll end the call. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
also for the reactions.
Thank you.
Most
Thank
Thank
welcome.
you.
you.
Most welcome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ciao.
Ciao.